Lions injury report out. There are only a couple players listed because the rest of them are on IR. So many players with the front seven are on injured reserve. Taylor Decker's out on the offensive line. DJ Reader is out on the defensive line. Femi, what's happening in the most high-stakes, high-leverage game of the week in the NFL, Thursday night, Lions and Packers?
Yeah, this one's been a fun one to track all week long because we've seen a lot of money coming in on the underdog, that being the Green Bay Packers. Now, like you said, some of the look-ahead lines were 6. The real openers for this week were around like 4.5 or 4. That got bet down to all the way down to 3. Like there's a 3 minus 120 in the market, a 3 minus 118, but the consensus is still 3.5. Sort of minus 105 or even money. So like a weak 3.5 in favor of the Detroit Lions. And Nick outlined it perfectly. The injuries are why everyone is betting against Detroit, because this team, think about it, they cover every single week. Obviously, they didn't cover on Thanksgiving against Chicago, but every week they have rewarded bettors for backing them. But now everyone is against them. They want nothing to do with this team, and they want everything to do with Green Bay, who covered Thanksgiving night when they beat the Miami Dolphins. We've also seen the total. That has gone up a little bit as well. It's gone down. This was 53, now down to as low as 51.5. There's a 52 out there in the market, but a high-scoring game is expected between the Packers and the Lions. For me, with this one, I get the injuries for the Detroit Lions, but at 3 minus 110, I still would bet Detroit. I think that this is getting Detroit a little bit cheap. I understand Green Bay is good. LaFleur's teams played really well in December and January. I get all that sentiment. Jordan Love tends to get hot at the end of the season, or at least he did last year. But I think that Detroit, based on how they've been power rated all throughout the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, 3 minus 110 at home, I don't know if they should be that against anybody right now at least. So I think I would honestly bet Detroit if we get that come game day tomorrow. But it's been all Green Bay money, and I would anticipate it's going to keep coming the closer we get to kickoff.
I said earlier in the show, I think we agree right now, and I haven't placed the bet yet. I don't know if I will, but if I had to, Lions 3 minus 110, I think I would lay it. I think the total's so interesting, and we'll get to another game in a second, but you heard Baldy say he thinks the Detroit offense is going to click, like regardless of whether Taylor Decker plays, and Taylor Decker's not going to play in the game. Ben Johnson's going to have it cooked up. Lions are going to be able to score. And you would imagine, Femi, that if you're right about Jordan Love, and considering all the injuries on defense for the Lions, and considering that when these two teams played about a month ago in Lambeau, and Green Bay didn't convert those 4th downs, and maybe would have scored more points if they had, maybe, and it's going to be played in a dome, played indoors, obviously. I don't know. I think I might be feeling the over coming up tomorrow night. But no bets for me on the game yet. Full analysis tomorrow, full betting card tomorrow, side, total, the prop king. And we're going to debut a new gimmick on the show here, courtesy of our friend Femi at Bebuffet, coming up tomorrow with Femi with the Packers and the Lions.
Yeah, and to your point, talking about the over and Green Bay, you look back to that game, they scored 14 points, 411 yards against the Detroit Lions in that game, 6.6 yards per play, and that was played in a messy, rainy game. Here's indoors, perfect conditions against a banged-up Detroit defense. Detroit's defense much healthier that game than they will be tomorrow night. So I kind of agree with you on that over there. I think there's going to be a lot of points, as Baldy said, and Jim, you've said as well here in this segment.
So again, full breakdown of the game coming up tomorrow. Full betting #card, the portfolio tomorrow for the Packers and the Lions. All right, let's move from Thursday. Let's go to Sunday now, where I said at the top of the show, and this sucks. Trevor Lawrence on injured reserve, probably not going to play the rest of the season. Concussion off the Al-Shaair hit, and also, the other old chestnut, which is the fact he had an AC joint sprain in his shoulder as well, and was attempting to play through it. So now we know that Mac Jones will be the quarterback. We think, probably for the rest of this, maybe we'll see CJ Beathard at some point, but Mac Jones will start on Sunday. Femi, what's happening with the Jaguars with Mac Jones at Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans?
So my guess is that the market anticipated that Trevor Lawrence was not going to play in this game. We all saw the play, his head bouncing off of the grass against the Houston Texans. The league was never going to have him play the next week after that gruesome hit that he took from Azeez Al-Shaair. So this has been a betting market that has actually been backing the Jaguars. It was 5.5 or so at open. I think the odds makers thought, well, if it's Mac Jones, this needs to be a big number. And everybody says, yeah, it needs to be big, but not that big. So 5.5 all the way down to 3.5 earlier in the week. We've seen some action coming in on the under as well. 40 to now 39.5. So the Jags got bet early in the week. We're holding steady here at 3.5, although I do see a pretty sharp sports book that's offshore at 4 minus 103. So maybe we're going to start to see some Tennessee interest the minute, the more that this news gets into the market, the more people realize maybe that's what we're going to go.
I thought Femi was going to say a sharp sports book now has a 3 on the game, and I was going to be like, oh no, yeah, baby. I love 3.5.
The opposite. The opposite, 4 minus 103. So let's see what happens. I have not bet this game yet. I agree with Nick on this one. Anything more than a field goal, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, Will Levis cannot be laying that price, but I'm not also rushing to back Mac Jones. So let's go ahead and wait this one out. Let's see what happens throughout the week, and maybe we get an even bigger number with Mac Jones on the road against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I'm in on Jacksonville in this game. It makes me nervous to say that. You want to hear something real nuts?
Oh,
I think I like the over. 39.5. You telling me we can't get like 24-21 in this game? I understand it's Levis and Mac Jones. Lean for me towards the over. Definite bet on the Jaguars, and we'll see how it goes. Wonderful Wednesday here on the show. Line movement right now. Costos, Femi, the crew, and you. Week 14 in the NFL. Giants head coach Brian Daboll, Femi, making it official earlier today. I hate this team so much. I hate having to say Giants head. I hate having to talk about them as a lifelong Giants fan.
Won't have to say it for much longer.
Thank God. Hopefully I won't have to say Giants head coach Brian Daboll for much longer either. Brian Daboll announcing that Drew Lock gets another start for the Giants. Big Blue also dealing with a host of other injuries, not just Tommy DeVito, but other injuries as well. What's happening in the Giants-Saints market as the Giants host New Orleans this Sunday?
Yeah, we are seeing the over get bet. I'm now seeing 41.5 in the market. 41, though, the consensus. This was around 40.5 earlier. So we're now onto a key number in terms of totals. And we're also seeing the New York Giants get bet. Like, similar to what happened last week when they were playing the Dallas Cowboys. Like, when Drew Lock was thought to be the starter, the Giants got bet on the Dallas Cowboys. Did get bet on game day. We're now seeing the 5.5s and the 5s are now gone. It's 4.5 pretty much across the board. There's a couple 5s out there in the market, but 4.5 is a consensus number. Bettors more bullish on Big Blue with Drew Lock at quarterback versus Tommy DeVito at quarterback. So the Giants are getting bet and the over is getting bet. So we should see at least a little bit more points than we at least initially thought earlier in the week.
Here's what I'd say to people that want to bet the Giants in this game. How'd it go with Drew Lock on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys? To be fair, though, like you watched
by 7.
They didn't quit, to be fair, right? They actually did not quit in the game. Like, you actually got like a decent effort, unlike the Tampa game. To be fair,
the difference was the pick six,
which was sick play by DeMarvin.
He's good. I love him. Yeah,
he's
one of the few players I love on the team.
I actually think that, like, if the Cowboys defense had stayed healthy this year and they were good, he would be, I don't know if he's like defensive player of the year good, but he's ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Yeah. He's not fast. As good as Parsons, but yeah, he's fast. Yeah, he's a great player, DeMarvin Overshawn. I would never bet the Giants in this game. It's not just DeVito that's dealing with an injury. Daboll saying today, number one corner, and he's awful, so maybe this is a positive. Deontay Banks, Bobby Okereke, linebacker, Jermaine Illuminor, and Evan Neal on the offensive line are not day-to-day, they're week-to-week. When a coach says that on a Wednesday, it means none of the guys are going to play on Sunday. Now, we'll see, but yeah. This is never the Giants, only the New Orleans Saints, for me at least. Let's go to the other New York team. I guess I could go to the Jets or Buffalo here and do a joke. Well, let's go to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, Femi, visiting the Miami Dolphins. I said on Monday, I like the Jets plus 6.5. I just think the point spread's too big in this game in South Beach. What does the betting market say right now for the Jets? As you said, we all get gangrene when we bet them. And I ain't talking the football team. I'm talking frostbite. The Jets and the Dolphins in Miami.
And a surprise to nobody, the betting market, once again, likes the New York Jets. The betting market agrees with your opinion, Nick, with this game. Like, they can't quit the Jets. I've been a part of it the last couple of weeks, so I understand. Like, you look at the closing point spreads, and you come to this like, oh, I can't get to that number. We've all been there at one point or another. Like, be honest with yourself. Like, you've been there as well, listening at home, betting the New York Jets, but I can't do it, but there's 6s now across the board. All the 6.5s are gone in this game. Everyone has bet the New York Jets earlier in the week. And the 6s, I mean, there's like minus 108 out there in a couple of places. Who knows? Maybe this goes to 5.5. I do want to point out, though, for the New York Jets, the injury report looking a little bit iffy for their corner, Sauce Gardner, the All-Pro, dealing with a hamstring. Not what you want to be dealing with when you're.
Let's not call him All-Pro. Like, he may be true.
He made a couple All-Pro teams.
Yeah. I know, but he has not been good this season. Although, like, he did like body DK Metcalf on a play last week at the goal line, but he has not been good this season. So it is true what you're saying, All-Pro, but he's been bad this year.
Yeah, it's a down year for Sauce. But, that's defensive back. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. That tends to happen
there.
So
what sauce is he right now? Like, if last year he was fire sauce, like Taco Bell fire sauce, what sauce is he this year?
I think right now, he might just be like yellow mustard. Not a big yellow mustard guy.
Yellow mustard's horrible. It's a good call.
Yeah.